what makes our community a good place, and one of the things I work on a lot, is mine's the largest of all districts, and if you don't have adequate roads, development turns out terrible. So we need adequate roads, so that's one of the things I work on a lot. And so I really appreciate Kevin and Robin for what they've done with us in this park system. I'm going to introduce the new park director, but I'm not supposed to say this, but I just came back yesterday from Montreal. I went on a cruise from Boston to Montreal, and boy, you see a lot of stuff. But boy, I am so glad my parents decided to come to Louisville, Kentucky from Iowa, and I am so glad my grandparents came from Norway and Sweden to our country. You know, not if you don't realize what we got. I mean, we got a great country, but we really got a great city. And so we can even be so much better when more people tell us the problems and we can work to solve them. Because I don't think there's anything we can't solve if we work together. And so I really appreciate you all coming out today. Usually if I'm involved in it, nobody comes. And so I'm thankful that you're here. And I want to introduce our new Parks Director, Dana Kessler. Thanks, Brian.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. There you go.
Well, thank you, Councilman. I want to thank these council members so much for support of this park and this project. It'll be a fantastic addition. I also want to thank our park staff who are involved in the construction, but also the management and oversight of this park. So again, thank you to the council members who are supported, and thanks to our staff.
Good afternoon or good morning. I'm Councilman Kramer. Thanks again for being here. We really appreciate your sharing the message. I think the most important thing to point out is through working together, we're able to accomplish projects like this one. And this is one in a series of projects that have been completed at the park. You're standing in the pavilion that we completed in the last phase. This phase adds parking, which is the biggest complaint of people who are using this park, that there are cross-country events, other school events that take place here, and there hasn't been, until now, there hadn't been enough parking. And so we're really happy about the fact that this phase allows us to open 62 new parking spaces. It also creates or builds 2 new tennis courts and adds pickle courts. Those who are in our community are realizing, I'm catching on very quickly, that pickleball is growing in popularity at a phenomenal rate. And so we're really happy that we were able to adjust the master plan to include pickleball courts, and really proud of the fact that in this year's budget, as tight as budgets are, by working together, the Republican pool was able to find enough revenue to include in this project lighting the tennis courts and the pickleball courts. So even in tight budget years, when folks are able and willing to work together, you see projects like this one come to fruition. So real proud of the work that was done, real happy to see the parking spaces be open, the pickleball courts, the tennis courts, and grateful to all those who made this possible. Thank you.
Was it question time now? Is that it?
Sure, yes.
Where'd the $800,000 come from?
It was in the, when we look at how we're going to spend capital, a lot of the capital in this year's budget was bond money. And so we were able to just take a look at what was being bonded and add a little bit to the bond and move some of the bond funds.
Some people might ask, you know, if they see this, they might say, why are they spending money on this instead of opening more pools? Is it simply the budget issue?
The pools are too late.
Yeah, and nothing is simply. I would point out that what made this possible is this is a capital project, and it's in the capital budget, and it's bonded. It's not common that you would borrow money, that you would bond money for operating expense. And so the mayor decided that operating the pools was too expensive and chose to close the pools. I think to Councilman Benson's point, opening all 4 pools would have been very difficult to do. We remain a little bit discouraged that the mayor made the decision to close those pools without even giving the Metro Council an opportunity to decide if that was the direction the city should go. But that's an operating decision, and you know, the mayor is singly responsible for operating the city. Our responsibility is to appropriate funds to make sure that he has the resources necessary.
When's this going to be done?
Well, this phase will be finished this fall,
months.
in 4 months. I would love to tell you that this finishes the work in Charlie Vettiner Park. It does move us a long way towards completion, but the old tennis courts will remain. There's a gravel lot up near the old tennis courts that's not in the best of shape, and so there are some future things that we're looking at, but I don't think there are any plans in the works right now, or there are plans, but there's no money in the budget right now to look at those improvements.
How many extra parking spots do you add here with this?
62.
Well, I really appreciate y'all being here. You know, what makes this park, some of the issues that we have is people have emailed us about things that they would like to see in the parks. We sent out a newsletter this week, and we're getting response from people that they want to be on our newsletter, but it also gives them an opportunity to connect to us. To me, I just, I taught school for 28 years, taught machine shop. It's funny how you put people together that nobody's got a monopoly on ideas. The more people involved, the better everything happens. And so we need everybody's help. We need help to make our community a better place. And by you all being involved, you all coming today, it's really a great thing. And so, you will probably have any question for me.
Any other questions? You get everything?
Oh yeah, hey.
Oh,
Jason.
I would like to introduce the person who is most directly, or the Director of Parks has spoken. Jason Canuel understands this project far better than I do. He's worked on every single piece of the blueprint and just about every piece of stone that's been moved. So let me introduce Jason Canuel.
Good morning, everybody. Jason Canuel with the Parks Department. I'm the Assistant Director with Engineering and Planning. I would like to say thank you to Councilman Engel, Kramer, and Benson. This park had a master plan completed roughly 5-6 years ago, and it's because of the partnerships with those 3 council members that we've gotten the improvements that we have today. There's been multiple years, multiple funding allocations, and it all makes this possible. So this shelter, the parking lot, the bollards, the improvements that are already here, this goes a long way to completing the master plan, but we're not done. There are other things that are left to do, and we look forward to future projects and meeting with you all here, hopefully in the upcoming years. Thanks.
Again, thanks for coming, guys. We really appreciate it.